where I am? Let me tell you, I am at a very amazing place today. I'm really excited. I love to go for house feng shui. And today, I got invited to this really nice place called The Reflections in Keppel Bay. Very nice, right? I would love to buy a unit here, but it is very expensive. So I guess today we are here to understand why is the feng shui here so good. So interestingly, as we turn towards period 9 at 2024, and you know that now we're in period 8, but going towards 2024, the south area properties will not just go up in prices, but also go up in feng shui value. So in 2024, we go into what we call the Gua of Fire. And in this Gua of Fire, the southern part of Singapore will actually experience better feng shui compared to the other areas of Singapore. And that is the reason why I'm so excited to be here at Keppel Bay today, The Reflection. Why am I in deep thought? Because it's raining. Yeah, I wanted to show you all the swimming pool, but it seems like it's not possible. Water Tiger here comes earlier. That's the only thing I can say. Well, I can't show you the pool today, but I'm going to show you the rest of the house. We're actually at the lobby of this place at The Reflections. It is a very, very beautiful lobby. Okay, let's focus on the feng shui factor first. You can see that it's surrounded by greenery and that it has a very nice unblocked view. We can also see that for every single building, there is water that is surrounding each and every building. So is this considered a good feng shui form? Definitely it is. This will be what we call the belt of wealth, which has water protecting all the different buildings right here at The Reflection. Alright guys, follow me. Here we've reached the entrance of this unit that I was telling you about. And I guess this is my first time in this project. Now we are going in. Let's go. First impressions, very, very spacious unit. And here we have a very bright living room. Wow, this is a south-facing house. That's very good and very rare. Okay, so you can see that as we walk into the house, it's very important for the walkway to be spacious. Okay, like this unit, right? The walkway is uncluttered because as we walk into the house, qi will need a place so that it can gather. So the qi will gather here. So this place of gathering is what we call the Ming Tang. And Ming Tang can be directly translated into the bright hall. A bright hall is a place where qi accumulate and grow in the house. So this is the first Ming Tang of this house. And from here, the qi will be redirected into the living room, which is to my left. Okay, what do I like about this living room then? Number one, it is very spacious. That allows for more qi to gather. Second important point is that there is a very, very good source of light on the left side as well. So with the source of natural light that comes into the house, it will allow the qi to accumulate faster within the living room. So that's why when I first came to this house, right, I feel that there's a lot of this positive energy within the house. It is this positive energy that makes me feel like, I can be very productive. Okay, the third point is that I noticed that the ceiling is tall. As we walk into the walkway, you can visibly see that the ceiling in the living room is taller than that of the original walkway. This taller ceiling within the living room allows for even more qi to accumulate. That means that the occupants of this house will find it extremely enjoyable to spend time within the living room. This improvement in qi of the living room will give them better health and better concentration. I actually have a very good feeling coming to this living room, so much so that I want to just stay here all day. Do you want to know why I love to sit here? After studying the flying stars of this house, I actually realized that the wealth sector of this house is right here in this sector. So that makes this a really great place for the guests to gather. When we invite guests into the house, we can also help to grow the qi of the house as well. Okay, like even as I sit here, I just feel that I'm very relaxed. Yeah, it's because that this is actually the first wealth sector of this house. Yeah, I think just nice. The owners have also decided to put their sofa at this place. So they're definitely doing the right thing. The second wealth sector of the house then is definitely this part of the house. I've met a lot of people who say that, oh, very easy, you just open the door and diagonally across the door is the wealth sector of the house. Not true, it's definitely not so easy. So for us, we use the flying stars. So using that, we calculated that, first sofa area and second area is right here. What else then can we do to improve the wealth sector of the house? The second thing that we can do to improve the wealth sector, logically speaking, is to put a plant, exactly like what this owner had done. Okay, so all in all, 2 good ways for you to improve the qi of the house using your wealth sectors. Number 1, invite guests over, and number 2 is the use of plants. Okay, so interesting thing about a south-facing house is that it has 2 wealth sectors. We can actually make full use of these 2 wealth sectors to improve our qi flow. Okay, question of the century. Open kitchen or no open kitchen? Many couples have asked Hoseki this question. And the usual answer that I'll give to this question is, when in doubt, no open kitchen. Okay, so fortunately we have an open kitchen here today. Okay, fortunately it seems that it might not be affecting them too much. We've noticed that the kitchen is quite clean, so which means that this couple probably cleans up after every meal. So that is actually a very good sign. Second thing is that we have asked the owners, and it seems that they are only cooking twice a week. So that's also good. So the most important thing about an open kitchen is that we will need to ensure that the hygiene is at the most optimum level. Why? Because if the kitchen is dirty, then this dirt is going to contaminate the good qi that is in the living room. So if we keep the kitchen clean enough and we don't let the cooking affect the good qi in the living room, we can actually ensure that the house is still not too affected by the open kitchen concept. Next up, we also realized that they are using a induction cooker. So we will always prefer occupants to use what we call a traditional stove with fire, because a traditional stove with fire helps to improve the health of the female occupant of the house. Okay, we want to find out the direction of the stove. So upon checking our compass here, we realize that the stove is pointing towards the east direction. So, is east direction a favorable direction for the stove? Yes. Why? Because east represents wood, and wood generates fire, and fire represents the stove, and fire in the 5 element cycle are actually right beside each other. So in a way, there's no conflict, there's no clashes, because wood generates fire. So it brings more energy for the stove to burn. So in that sense, this stove direction helps the career and also the health of the occupants living in this house. Okay, then it brings me to another point, is we see a common form that usually people are very worried about. This third most debated form is what we see, the sink being right opposite the stove. Is this a problem? Okay, it is a very common feature like that in condominiums because we don't have space in Singapore. So you always see the stove being very near to the sink. One of the key things that we will do is to measure the distance between them. Okay, here we have, using my digital measuring tape, it shows that it is 1.219 meters apart. So what is an optimum distance then? 1.2 meters. What is the minimum distance then for us to keep them apart? 600, which is 60 centimeters. So in this sense, I can say that the stove and the sink does not affect each other, and we are safe. This is the part of the job that I hate the most, having to bend my back. 2.5 meters, considered a good height for the ceiling. Okay, what am I doing? I'm trying to measure the distance of the walkway, wall versus wall. Okay, why is this important? Qi needs to travel. and qi needs a minimum space to travel. So what is that minimum space that we need? 1.2 meters. Okay, then from the door to here, we have of course this huge space that qi can accumulate. What about from here to the rest of the rooms? Okay, after calculation, the wall against the wall is 1.163 meters, a little bit less than the optimum. What we need to do then is to just keep the walkway as uncluttered as possible. And you'll notice that a lot of families in Singapore, right, they like to place a lot of things in the walkway. Some of them like to put their shoe cabinet, some of them like to put their shelves. So obviously with this 1.16, which is below the optimum, we can't do that. Next, now we want to go into the bedroom for the next part of the assessment. I love this bedroom very much. It is so spacious, but I'm not here for property viewing. So what's good about the bedroom then? Natural light. So we have a lot of natural light for this bedroom. So another interesting thing is that you remember when we first came into the house, we measured and the house was south facing, right? So where exactly is the bedroom then in terms of the entire house? It is in the northwest sector. So what's interesting about the northwest sector is that the northwest sector is the most important part of any property, because a lot of energy is going to enter through the northwest sector. So that's why a lot of people say that, right, the northwest sector is the second gate of heaven. So being the second area of qi generation, what can we do then to boost this second gate of heaven? Important thing, number one, is to increase the natural lighting of the place. So this bedroom has that added advantage of having a lot of natural light. So that helps to boost the health and wealth of the occupants in this house. Okay, so that's the good thing about this bedroom. Now, what are the issues with the bedroom then? Number one, you will notice that as we come into the room, the possible bedhead directions should actually logically be this wall and this wall. However, this is not where the current bedhead is located. It's impossible for the occupants to place it on these two walls because they are already occupied by the windows. So the only logical place is here. So the issue with having the bedhead here instead is that it causes some element of stress according to the landform theory. Because according to landform theory, right, if the door opens from this side, you're supposed to have the bedhead placed on that side or that side. Well, I mean, if the window already occupies that area of the house, it is then impossible for us to put bed over there. So then it is the next best alternative, I would say. The next thing that I have an issue with is the pillar. Well, there's really not much that we can do about the pillar. Well, the least that we can do then is to understand the kind of impact that the pillar has. So because the pillar is very near to where the occupants are sleeping, right, it affects the occupants who are also using this room in particular. What will it do? It will give us a small element of stress. You can have the study desk outside of the bedroom and we don't use the bedroom for work. So that will be one way that we can reduce the amount of stress that we are getting from the pillar. Another issue about this bedroom is that from the floor plan, I have noticed that we have a slanted wall that's located here. But then it affects all of the roof of this house. Well, this is no choice because the building is built in such a manner. Well, at least what is good is that on the slanted wall, right, is actually natural lighting coming in. So natural lighting helps to reduce a lot of bad feng shui forms. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is that because of this slantedness, we try not to have any furnishings like tables or chairs to slant together with it. What it can do is that it increases the amount of activity in our mind. But however, these activities are that appears in our mind are negative. It will increase overthinking and it will make us productive but for all the wrong things. So if I were to adjust something in the room, I would adjust this resting chair, which is this massage chair. I would adjust it to the same alignment as the door instead.